The more you try to keep me down and keep my head above the water, you can never hold me down. The more you try to block me out, that's where I kick the wall down. You can never hold me back. The more you try to put me out, the more I'll be blazing, it's too hot. The more you try to put me in the dirt, increase my work, the expert. You see the hunger in the eyes of a survivor. Swallowed my pride, washed down with some saliva. Reinvented my whole life, mental MacGyver. One door shut, another open up wider. Listen, battle drums in the distance, moving with enough force like army tank pistons. Pray for the strength of Jah to fight resistance. Fight mode, shields up, moving with resilience.
The strength of 1,000 lion and the strength of 1,000 giant. Please stay strong. Please stay strong. With the strength of 1,000 elephant and the strength of 1,000 tiger, we stay strong. We stay strong.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pinecase, the podcast where music is our drug of choice. It is another Tuesday evening, and I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. I know that there is always some controversy over how we celebrate these holidays nowadays, and it's super challenging to say whether we're supposed to say happy this or no to that, but I just want to know that you guys were on my mind, and I'm super thankful for all the support and the love that I've seen over the last few years. This project started out as a little passion moment, and now I'm hanging out with the mighty one, Canadian rock band frontman, author, facilitator, master life coach, oh my God, Blissiplin's curator. Like, you have all these beautiful things going on, Tim, and it's just always an honor for us to have you here. So everybody, please give a nice warm welcome to Tim Steinruck. Thank you, darling. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to acknowledge you and the beautiful work that you're doing in the community, and really bringing people together around natural mental health, and really offering solutions to what is a very challenging time. We've had challenging times before in the past, but let's face it, every day it just seems to be ramping up more and more and more. And you and I work a lot with youth and stuff like that, and that's really where there's just so much challenge with anxiety, with stress, with like, what does my future look like? What is there a future? All these things are just questions. My daughter's 15, and these are the questions the kids are asking themselves every single day. Like, what is the use? Like, where are we going? And as adults, I'm feeling the same way. Where are we going? And, I just have to tell you that I appreciate what you do. I appreciate what you guys have been doing at Pinecase now it's been at least 3 years, I think. Is it about 3 years since you guys been doing it now?
So this will be our third. Yeah, this is our third season. We're just,
yeah.
Wow.
So, and it's just ramping beautifully. And the way that you bring in music as medicine, I just love that so much, because I'm all about that. I'm all about that. And this is heart work. A lot of people say they work hard. Well, I work hard.
Yeah.
I'm doing heart work every day. That's what I'm passionate about doing, and I know you are too. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to get all hippie dippy or anything like that, but we need more love in the world, and the only way that we spread love is by being examples of love. And so with my music, with my message, with everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm creating, I always come from a place of, what can I do to make things in my community just a little bit better? And I know that's exactly what you're doing too. So that's why it's just such an honor to be sitting with you again here tonight. It's been a while since we talked, and I'm looking forward to the conversation tonight.
Yeah, the pleasure is absolutely all ours. You were one of our biggest advocates when we started this project, and I remember writing down a few names on a piece of paper. I'm like, okay, and I didn't tell Calico who you were, but I thought if I can get Tim's approval, then we're on the right track here. Because you're such an important person in our life, and I remember when she said like, oh, we got him, we booked him. And I was like, oh shit. Like I actually gotta like pick this up and figure out what this is really going to look like in an important way. And so I appreciate you coming behind us and yeah, 3 seasons, but it's like, when I know that I've got you in the calendar, I'm like, okay, we've gone another turnaround, and we've elevated a little bit. We got some more things to talk about. And and we've also talked behind the scenes about collaborating and all these things. And I know you come with your heart all the time. I know how to sit now in these, because when we first started talking, I was like, how do I talk about nerves and being at peace and purpose and all these things when I'm not sure how to do them myself? And so having you in this space and being able to highlight some of the tools really gave Pinecase the validity that we needed to kind of move forward. Like we have a master life coach on here. We've spoken, and we can use these. And now we're 700 people deep in our group, and everyone's talking about breathing exercises and techniques and all of these things. And so it's just it's been absolutely wonderful. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you so much for not only standing behind, near, and beside and around us, but also just for keeping the standard there, and always, your words of encouragement I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And my heart's full. Just with your words, my heart is full. And I just want to put a blessing on our conversation tonight, that it'll serve not only us, but it'll serve anybody who listens to it live and listens to it afterwards, because I believe that when we come into life and we approach life in a way that we're here to serve each other, if we all do that, if we're all serving each other, everybody's taken care of.
Yeah. And and that's the piece in the community where I really think awareness needs to be, we talk about mental health awareness and suicide awareness, which you are an amazing advocate for both. And we'll get into that a little bit later with Kicking Stones and all of the work you do through the music on spreading this awareness. But, in a community, it's like we all have these positions, and we've somewhere along the way, society, we've almost lost like our duty to each other as a neighbor, and what we can bring to the table. I'm just now really exercising my right as a neighbor. Like, you know what? This is what we have. What do you have? How can we trade? How can we support each other? You're not home straight after school. Guess what? I'm actually, I work from home. So if you need someone to keep, eyes on the kids, my kid's already outside playing. So it's no problem. And just really like picking up the pieces of like what used to be, the idea of like the nuclear family and this great idea of a community. I think somewhere we kind of, that shifted a little bit, right? There was maybe a little bit of fear mongering in there, and we've all kind of shut our doors. But I've learned some really wild statistics lately. And I just want to quickly say thank you to everybody in the comment section. We see you. I appreciate you guys being here. There's actually someone in the comments right now who I'm in class with, and we learned some amazing statistics lately, which is that youth crime rate in Canada is actually dropping. That this thing that we think that these children are up to, and that society's taken this huge nosedive, and there's all these gangs, and homelessness is gone through the roof, and opiates are rampant. Some of these things might be true, but there's actually this precious little thing in community that's happening, which is something shifted. And we're actually doing right by these children. These numbers are starting to come down, and these kids are actually participating in their own life. There isn't this expectation that it's going to be laid out for them. It's like, okay, we see that it's going to be tough, so we're going to work a little bit harder. I see parents coming together and conversating with their kids and having these really honest conversations. And so, I think talking about the youth is a great place to start. It's a great
Well,
place to start.
I mean, let's face it, they're the ones inheriting this craziness, right?
Mhm.
So, what can we do as sort of, I mean, I hate to even say it, but as the elders in
Yeah,
the
right.
our role in life and time in life, what can we do to really support them in what is going to continue to be a challenging situation, And
Mhm.
I love so much about what you said about the nuclear family. And there was a time before there was all this separation and division and all of this craziness where everybody really took care of each other, and that is still there
Mhm.
if we can put our judgment of others' opinions aside.
Mhm.
This is the big challenge. I think that there's forces at play in the leadership of our countries, of our political whatever,
Mhm.
there that would prefer that we separate more and more and more. But what I see more and more every day, a almost a rebellion against that. People are really aware of it now. They're really understanding it. And so, there's so many people in my life that I do not agree with their opinions. I do
Mhm.
not agree with their views. But because I believe in the power of empathy,
Yeah.
I am happy to sit down and talk to anybody. The most radical person, I will sit down because I want to know what makes them go to that crazy place that they're at. Right? Because if I can understand that, then I can actually connect with them instead of
Mhm.
just, that's it, the door's closed. We can't talk because we can't see the same way. So it's a very, very interesting time. You know, I don't want to get all spiritual tonight, but I am a very spiritual person,
Mhm.
and I believe that I chose to come into the world at this time for a specific reason. You know, in this time with the set of challenges that are here for a specific reason. And so every day it's important for me to continue to clarify my message to the world, and especially clarify my message to the youth. Okay. And I know we're going to talk about the Blissiplin's book today, but that's really front and center for me as sort of the next step to actually offer a set of solutions that
Mhm.
anybody can take on, whether you're 15 years old or whether you're 65 or 75 years old. It doesn't matter. If you take these things on, if you take on the commitment to strengthening yourself, you will go from just being this little paper boat that's getting blown around on the ocean of the storm of life. You're going to actually come to the shore, and you're going to solidify on the shore, and you're going to become a lighthouse, a stronger and stronger lighthouse. You're going to shine brighter. All of these things are possible, but you have to work on it every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Well, I guess maybe that's where I wasn't expecting the comfort. So we started Pinecase, we started all this collaboration. We figured out what the initiative was going to be. We figured out what the values and all of this stuff. And then I started school and all stuff. And then in all of this, I was like, "Whoa, you can do all of these things. I can do all these things. You can do all these things.
Mhm.
Discipline and music and traveling and public speaking and being a master life coach. You can do all these things. But once you've shifted the mindset, which is what you talk about in Blissipline, once you've shifted out of doing things and start like being in those things, right? I didn't understand that. I was like, I can achieve these things. I know how to get there. I'm going to start my day, have breakfast, start class, eat some toast, da 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 da. But I would be anticipating the next thing. And that's how I was preparing myself. Okay, I know I have class at this time, or I know I have work at this time, or my kids have school at this time. And so I would be anticipating that. And that would be what I would be getting ready for, right? Not starting my day off ready for myself, and then however the day goes is how it goes. I didn't realize that there was a difference, and I would often find myself being one of these people who was spinning out and overwhelmed and like, I needing a nap, and like I hated anticipating things at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was terrible because it would like take the whole day, and this is what I'm getting ready for. And once I kind of shifted that to, no, if you prepare yourself for the day, then it doesn't matter what happens at 3 o'clock. It doesn't matter what happens at 8 o'clock. It doesn't matter what happens at any time, because you're settled and you're prepared. And I think it's so important to understand the difference between those things. And we have a duty. We have a duty to teach the youth that. We have a duty to the community, right? I mean, it goes beyond our children. It's our children's friends and the kid that's delivering the newspaper. Like, I think what you have here is so desperately important for us as a society, because what you've done is laid it out in such a simple way. It's like those, what are those books like, whatever,
For dummies. For dummies. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. This could be called, morning rituals for dummies,
yeah, exactly. But that's where we need it. Like, we just need it that basic, because anything outside of that at this point is almost, we're getting back to noise. Unfortunately, we've shifted back into, like you said earlier, like things being woke, right? It's like now we've shifted the mindset back to like, if it trends, then it's uncool. So we have to find this like weird space in between where it's like, deliver that it's important and life-changing without being too crazy looking, too tinfoil hat looking. But bring it to the masses, because it should be grade 10 cap class. And I'll say it probably 100 more times tonight. It should be taught in grade 10 cap class. I feel like at that age, the youth is, they've come to a place where they're starting to talk about like sex ed, and they're actually engaged in these conversations out of, if at anything, just curiosity. We've kind of gone past like, the basic core friendships. We started moving to like the puppy love thing. People might, joke about naming their children and stuff. And right around that time, it feels like that's when we need to be talking about like oil changes, paying taxes, and Blissipline. Like those things should be part of, the school curriculum. So before we actually get into the nit and grit of what it is, can you just like, where did this become something that was important to you? Like, where in your beautiful timeline were you like, you know what, this is why I'm here, this is why I've chosen this time period? Like, whereabouts were you in life when you decided that this was going to be something that you were going to do?
December 31st, 2019.
Wow.
The whole New Year's resolution thing.
Yeah.
But it was really not so much a resolution as it was, I just said, because I'd been reading a lot about discipline and the power of discipline. And one of the greatest teachings was from a very, very intelligent man who's an incredible, philosopher and mystic. And he said he started his discipline journey by putting a pile of rocks in the corner of his property, setting his alarm for 4 a.m., going and grabbing a rock and moving it to the other corner of the property, and then just going back to bed. Now, he had 30 rocks. He did that for 30 days. Then he did it for another 30 days and moved them back to where they were from. And after 60 days of just simply setting the alarm, moving the rock, he said what had started to happen was that he realized that his mind was going, okay, this logically makes no sense what you're doing. It's like totally outside of logic and reason.
Mm-hmm.
But after he'd been doing it for 60 days, his mind just settled down, accepted that he was the boss, but not his mind. And then he moved into this whole journey of discipline. And I was just so inspired by that. And I said, okay, what is one thing that I can do every morning to really support myself in this way, to tame my mind? Because our mind, it is, if it runs the show, and it runs most of the world, and runs most of people's lives, if we can tame the mind and no longer have it be the leading force or the guiding force or the boss, now suddenly we move into our body and we come from the heart. Okay. So I just went, okay, there's a 7-minute workout that I've been doing every once in a while, a HIIT workout, which is a high intensity interval training. That's what HIIT stands for, HIIT. And I had done this a few times, and I always felt so great afterwards, right? Because it's only 7 minutes. I mean, who doesn't have 7 minutes, right? And so I get, you know what? I am going to do this every morning. And after I had been doing it for about 30 or 60 days, what I noticed that naturally came to me is as I was coming down from that, high heart rate and the just the blood pumping through the body and feeling like, what I just wanted to know, why was I feeling so good? Like I was just feeling so good. And so then I just went, okay, I'm going to feel my body, and I'm just going to breathe as my heart rate comes down. I'm going to put my hands on my heart and just put a smile on my face and just be grateful to be alive, because I'm a firm believer in gratitude and the power within gratitude. You know what I mean? And so that's what I did. And then that moved to the next piece, which was visualization, a visualization of my goal achieved. One of the things that I'd studied a lot in my master coaching journey. And then it was like, okay, I want to send a message out to the world now, or maybe I want to, I was doing social media. I think you remember I was doing these daily reflections. I think I did 1,000 days or something like that. Right.
It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And so just organically over the course of 1,000 days of doing this, suddenly this whole process came together. And then I really was digging into the science of it. What was actually happening in my body? Why did I feel so good after doing that 7 minutes? Then I found out that when you take your heart rate to that level for 7 or 10 minutes, you release oxytocin, you release serotonin, you release adrenaline, you just release all of these natural antidepressants from your brain, all these feel-good things that people are taking drugs.
Yes, sir.
To try to feel good. And it's all right here. We got a pharmacy up there. And once that happened, once I realized that, everything went bing. And I'm like, oh my God, I am on to something here. Yeah. And so then I really started practicing it more diligently. And by the end of the year, it's going to be 6 years. It's going to be like 2,200, 2,300 days, consecutive days. Because you do this once or twice a week, it'll have value. You do this 3 times a week, it'll have a little more value. But if you do it every day and build that foundation that you were talking about, where you make yourself basically unshakable. Yeah. You make yourself unshakable. You're building a foundation every single morning. And then regardless of what comes at you, you are coming from a place of strength, personal power, and you can deal with these things so much easier. But if you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is you grab your phone and you start scrolling and you just get on that treadmill of programming,
Yeah.
you will not have that strength. You will come from a place of weakness. And so that's really where the whole Blissipline thing came from. I mean, I just finished writing the book, I think a
Super
week or two
exciting.
ago, right?
Mhm.
And it was interesting because it's only a 33-page book. It's a very short book. It's an
Mhm.
instructional book. And I'm going to be releasing it for free on December 31st of this year.
Yeah.
And as a gift, as a gift to not only myself, but and to my friends and all the people that I know, but to the world, because I believe this whole idea of strengthening ourselves first thing in the morning is going to help us so much as we move forward in this crazy journey. And yeah, I mean, what I got to say is, you were talking about woke and everything like that, right?
Mhm.
So that was my big challenge while I was writing the book. The book
Right.
was written in like 4 or 5 days, no problem. But
Yeah.
I had to go back and I had to look at it and I'm going, okay, this is coming from a more of a spiritual place now. And, this languaging, is maybe going to repel somebody on this side. So it wasn't about making it safe. It was about making it universal. And that's that simplification that
Mhm.
you're see in the book. And that's what I'm so grateful to have my intuition, because this is not only are we getting these beautiful chemicals released from the pharmacy up here, but every day that we do this, we have a stronger connection to our intuition. And our intuition is the greatest gift we could ever give ourselves. If we can trust our heart, not our mind, if we can trust our heart and work in coherence with our mind to make the right decisions, now life looks way different. Way, there's a clarity when you have your inner GPS working at full bandwidth.
Yeah. You do it in such a way. I've had a sneak peek at the book, and you do it in such a way that it's not only is it inviting, it's user friendly, it's but it feels special to the person. Like I felt like I was having a conversation with you. Like you were going to walk me through my day, because loneliness and grief is something that we deal with a lot. And I mean it's Pinecase for a reason. I feel that I know that grief is attached to a lot of the things that we do. So if we can solve that for ourselves, right? Then we can move on with some of these tools. And so for me, not only was it super informational, and after implementing it for a few days, did I actually notice a difference, but I felt as though someone was there with me. It made me feel accountable to the session. I was like, oh, I'm not in this alone. I don't even have to talk to anybody. I don't have to, I don't have to go and seek out this thing outside of my house. I can do this from the comfort of my home. But the way that you've written it makes me feel like we're in this together. And some of us really, I think that's a really important piece back to the community, right? Like we need to be able to support each other. And so congratulations on the book. I'm really excited for the community to be able to have it. It's a beautiful thing to be able to offer it as a gift. That's a really beautiful thing. And I can't say enough about that, but I do appreciate you writing it in such a way that we just don't feel alone. We're not stuck with this information and we're like, okay, so what do we do with all this stuff? Because often that happens, right? We get these big programs and these big, these master classes, and you're going to be, 28 days and you're going to rule the world. And, when we spend all this money and subscriptions and all this stuff, and we're just kind of left with a bunch of information we don't know much about.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times not everybody has the time to sit down and read a thesaurus on what it is that some of these beautiful these beautiful influencers or coaches are trying to get across. I mean, honestly, I didn't even really know what mindful meant until I started Pinecase, and it's a very used term, but I was like, I don't get it. And honestly, there was a part of me that almost like shut it out, right? It's like back to how it's received. Like, well, if Cheryl and Susan and all of these people talk about it on TikTok in their perfect life with their perfect household and stuff, then I don't really want to be a part of that, right?
Mhm.
But the way that you have it in there is it's just so it's so inviting, and it's super important because not everybody talks the way that every life coach does, and not everybody understands what that's being said. But I think you've done a great job of breaking it down to very easy, user-friendly steps that will land well, I think, regardless of what demographic or community that people are coming from. So just a massive congratulations. Massive congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. You know, I mean, the most powerful things available to us
Hmm.
are simple
Yeah.
and direct. And all that is needed is our full commitment and surrender to ourselves and to our journey,
Yeah.
you know? I just want to bring up the whole phone thing because you sent me a message and you're like, okay, this is like totally counterintuitive. You know, you're saying open the 7-minute app on your phone and and start the music on your phone but you at the beginning you say don't look at your phone,
Yeah,
And-
you can't
I mean,
send me something and then not like I'll give you the whole 100%, but I won't. I don't care who you are. I won't hold anything back. Like I will make sure that yeah, sorry about that.
but I mean, it's about discipline, right?
Mhm.
Like the not checking your phone until you've taken care of yourself, not checking your social media, not checking your emails, not all leaving that until you are taken care of.
Yeah.
That's the first discipline in all of this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay? Because afterwards, you're going to go on your phone. You're going to dive into the world, all of these things. Although I have to say, more and more and more, I am being more careful with what I click and watch and
Mhm.
listen to. I will look and I will go, is this going to serve me? Or is this not going to serve me?
Right.
Is this
Interesting.
going to be good for me?
Yeah.
Or is it going to take my power away in some way? No different than eating junk food or eating good food.
Mhm.
What we take in with our eyes, what we take in
Yeah.
with our ears, all of these things are equally important to what we put in our body physically.
Mhm. Yeah, well, and it goes back to this pharmacy that you were talking about earlier. I think people severely underestimate exactly what it is that we do with our bodies and how we get these hormones going, and it absolutely has to do with the drive-through that is reels. And I mean, I'm in the market of this. We are content creators. You're a beautiful musician. I mean, there's a piece of this where we're like, we have to navigate these platforms to get the information to the people that need the information and back, because I'm also a participant and a consumer of this information. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a great way to have a community. However, when you want to talk about wasting 3 hours to absolute nonsense, or that will change the trajectory of your day. All of a sudden, I'm like mad about what what language somebody speaks at a Tim Hortons drive-through. And I bring that one up because it's the most common. I've never seen people that weren't racist be racist all of a sudden out of absolutely
Mhm.
nowhere. I'm like, don't send me this shit. But it's amazing because it's like we don't even realize how saturating it is and how consuming it is, and how the day that you've just set up for yourself with all of these beautiful people and things and smells and sounds, and all of a sudden you've just went down this bizarre, self-diagnosing all assuming like landslide into some weird diet that's like unnecessary, and you're like, but this is what I'm supposed to be doing." No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
Actually, you're supposed to be outside. You're supposed to, like, your child doesn't, this is not this is what your kids see. This.
Mhm.
And it's the
Mhm.
saddest thing. I see it all the time. The
Mm.
kid don't even know what the parent looks like anymore. It's just the
Mm.
back of the phone. I actually seen this little boy go like this the other day. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was like, oh my goodness, right? So these things that we do to ourselves, not realizing, I mean, it's entertainment, right? We don't see it as necessarily a bad thing. It's not in our space, but it's this time that's wasted, and then all of a sudden it's changed our day and our children's day, and we're running into like dinner not being made and all these other things, and now we haven't washed our face before bed, and you didn't lotion your feet, so now you got your crusty feet, and it's like it doesn't seem like a big deal. But when you set yourself up for success with things like Blissipline, I feel like the other things will probably just kind of go at the wayside, right? You don't want to spend time on these. I don't want to call them lesser things, but they are essentially, right? They kind of drop, and you start shifting the way you value things, right? It's like, what's really important, because I just spent 7 minutes doing this routine and learning this information and recentering myself. So like, why am I then going to go eat a Big Mac? You're not, right?
No. And I mean, this is the whole thing. Like when you eat good food, you
Mhm.
feel good,
Yeah.
right? You eat good food for a while, you feel good a lot more.
Yeah.
And then when you eat something bad, you go,
Mhm.
okay. It's the same with what we take in through our eyes and our ears. Everything is energy, okay? And when we're taking in bad energy, we're watching some crazy political thing about some politician who is just absolutely grinding on us all the time, and we get pulled in, and next thing you know, hours have gone by, we feel like hell. I mean, I got to tell you, Kaleisha, I'm not perfect. I
Yeah.
get
Me
sucked
neither.
down. I get sucked down these rabbit holes all the time.
Mhm.
I have to, if I'm not conscious when I pick up my phone in the morning and I go, whoa, take a breath, smile, be grateful for another day, and get to work on your bliss. Go have some water, go to the bathroom, and go take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And then, okay, let's do what we need to do, and that might take me wherever it takes me, whether I decide to challenge myself or I choose to enrich myself. Now
Mhm.
more than ever, after 2,000 days, I want to enrich myself.
Yeah.
You know, I get
Yeah.
in the car and I hit YouTube, and because I'm subscribed to a million different things, I can choose all sorts of negative crap, all
Yeah.
sorts of salacious crap. But now more than ever, I'm going, let me put on something that's going to inspire me. As
Mhm.
I'm on my way to work, let me put on something that's going to inspire me. You know? Yeah.
Mhm. When I was sitting, I mean, we're going back a little ways now, but originally when I was like, there's got to be more to this music thing. There's got to be more to
Mm.
this music thing, because all these institutions that I navigated, whether for professional reasons or for personal reasons, there was a couple of them. And the one thing that stood out to me the most was how deafeningly silent they were, like
Mhm.
sterile. Not the space, although those were sterile as well, but the sound was sterile. There was nothing there, and you couldn't get away from it. You had to be with your thoughts, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you got to work through some stuff. But at the same time, like, I don't want to know your thoughts. Like, we have to share this space, so that it can't be so quiet that I know what you're thinking. Like, we need to deal with this a little bit, And so there was this moment, and I've talked about it before on the show, where these two guys named John, they came in, and one had an acoustic and one had an electric guitar, and they serenaded the room, and they just happened to know a couple of the same tunes, which was probably not that uncommon for musicians, and it changed some people, and everyone was kind of in different stages of their recovery or sobriety or mental health journey or whatever wellness, but for a moment there was this unity and this community and this you know what entertainment is actually supposed to be for, right? Because we do need it in society. It's not just for sitting down in front of the TV. There is actual a purpose behind entertainment, right? And it's survival at the end of the day. But anyways, it was just like this moment. And so there was this release and you could feel it. And it wasn't something, especially people that struggle with drug addiction, like you go a long time without feeling and you think you're getting that satisfaction, but you're not at some point because you've artificially had it for so long that your body actually stops making it. And what happens when you've gone through a detox program or whatever, and your body then has to shift back into making these things, you need something to kind of restart the machine again. Like you can have chocolate dipped strawberries or whatever, but you need something to kind of like jumpstart the dopamines and the serotonin, and because you're stressing and struggling, and that's where you see people that are like in discomfort and withdrawal, right? Like that's your body stressing, trying to get those hormones to start working again. Music prorated that. It prorated that for people. It went people who were, would be in the program traditionally for 7 to 10 days, we're getting that same thing done in 3 to 5. And when I spoke with the doctor and the clinicians and stuff, they were like, there is something to this, and we kind of talked, and that's how Pinecase started. Is I was like, well, can I borrowed a laptop from the janitor and so on and so forth. Turns out there's a ton of people doing this all the time, all over the world. And it's actually been a medicine for so long. And so I want to get into like the frequency piece of it too, because I think, not only is it great to have like routine and structure to our unstructured, lovely lives, but then there's also things that we can intentionally do, the having a glass of water and going outside and drinking it. That's like one of my favorite ones. And you said like, putting your phone down for a moment and breathing, using the washroom, coming back, having a glass of water, whatever those like, these are easy things that we can all do. But then there's like this other side of it that you're quite good at. And that's like attaching like music intentionally to the things that you're doing to like boost those things, to get those juices going, to have that natural high, to tune into the right frequency, to allow your body to feel love or light or laughter or whatever. And yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like, and like what how you've experienced that and how we can experience that?
Sure. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, I'm a musician. I'm a songwriter. I'm a creator, right? And I believe that the greatest gift that we all have is the ability to speak the message of our soul. That's where creativity is the ultimate expression of our soul, whether that's you paint, whether that's you cook, whether that's, whatever it is that you do that is your creative thing that you do. You sing well, whatever it is. Maybe you keep a beautiful house. Maybe you're just an amazing, all of these things, an amazing mom like you are, right? All of these things are expressions of divine creativity. And I don't want to come from a spiritual place here, but let's face it, we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
Not human beings having a spiritual experience. This is what I believe. Some other people may not believe that, but I know it to be my truth. Okay. And so that's the way that I approach it. And I fell in love with rock and roll at the age of 13 when I had got my first Kiss record. I got my guitar, and I'm like, this is my purpose. This is what I'm going to do. And I had this amazing experience. If the mighty one, Torch of Rock and Roll, is an album that released a few years ago, but the title track, Torch of Rock and Roll, is that deep, personal, spiritual experience that I had when I went out into a grain silo, empty grain silo, and I hit my guitar for the first time with the amp on 10. I ran like 300 feet of extension cord out to this silo from the chicken barn, because I lived on a farm, and I will never forget hitting that first chord and going, whoa, I can feel this right through my whole body. And actually the whole building just went, whoa, because it was metal. It was, whoa. And I'm just like, they had to come pull me out at like 10, 11 o'clock. because I wouldn't leave. I was just like, because the delay, like the reverberation in that room was just incredible. So I was using my voice, I was using the guitar, and so that I fell in love, and I knew in that moment what my purpose in this life is, and my purpose in this life is to keep things simple, rock hard, and and transform lives. That's what I'm doing. And through that journey, from that rebellious 13-year-old, and then onward, and record deals with Paul Stanley from Kiss, and all this crazy stuff that went on. I lost myself for a number of years, but probably about 15-20 years ago, when I really had a spiritual awakening, I went, okay, let's really look into this. What is sound and frequency? And that's when I started getting into doing sound healing, getting people to lay down on a mat and a blanket, a pillow, cover their eyes, and just hitting them with very low frequencies, high frequencies, the sounds of the planets, nature sounds, bringing in smells, like bringing in some different sage smells and a little bit of smoke, and and taking people on these crazy journeys.
Amazing.
And so now I've just realized that there is that part, even the quietest whisper of the wind has a level of healing, but also the craziest metal in the world played at 120 decibels, and you are pounding your head and having this cathartic experience. All of them and everything in between have value. Music is medicine. It's full spectrum medicine. And as a creator, I use them in a very conscious way now. Okay? A very conscious way. The words that I use, the notes that I use, the way the notes and the music and the words are put together, all of these things are like combinations that can help people experience personal freedom.
I love that story, by the way. I've heard it. I love that story. I just absolutely love that story. And I can picture it as you're saying it. Like, you're just so, I mean, we all need to grab a pillow and like lay down. And I feel like you just took us on that journey to be able to experience that in a real, tangible way and know that this is what it is. Because people listen to music all the time and never have that experience. I don't know if they never have that experience, but there's something about artists. There's something about musicians that they have that experience, and then they can never get away from it again. They can never step away. It's like it's in them, it's ingrained in them. You can't experience life without having that kind of always in the background of it, right? And so to be able to experience that at a young age and be like so for sure that this is what's going to happen, because it's taken you there. You've done it. I mean, you can retire now. Like, you've done it. You've been around the world. You've done it. Like, I mean, your music is fantastic. I know that. We know that. Like, you are a rock star. You're an absolute Canadian icon. And so you've done it, but to know that in such a for sure way at a young age, like, how exciting. Like, to know that it came from just this really honest and true place. I mean, I was in a grain silo like literally this morning. I started my thing in there. I mean, I'll send you photos. I'm constantly, I'm out, like, the horses are just as much like, this is what we're shifting into is the therapeutic, the equine therapy, right? Where that's what's happening right now. And I'm like, how do I not go so far away from Pinecase? And I've been having a hard time like connecting the two as I'm listening to my horses run around a field. Like, how do I connect this with music? Like, like, your heart is literally, like, everything around you is like doing this. You can feel I got 6 of them, for crying out loud. Like, when you see them coming, you can feel them coming, like, and it just took me like so long. I'm like, how do I add this? Like, just add it, dude. It's the same freaking thing. It's the same thing, And so, yeah, it's just such a beautiful moment to think that, like, at that age, you were like, yes, because I know what it's like to stand in a grain silo, and What a cool moment. And that's what it's free. It's so free. This is not an expensive therapy. That's where, like, that's the beauty of it. Like, it's not this big thing. It's not, I keep saying you guys, like, it's because I just want to like yell it to everybody. It is attainable, it's accessible, and it's amazing that there's these people like aliens that you guys are just tapped in to this piece of information, this piece of knowledge that you get to pull from and put down. And when you say it's spiritual, of course, I'm not a religious person. You know that. You know my dad quite well. So I'm sure you understand that like religion is not something that I'm super familiar with.
Religion and spirituality are two different things completely.
Exactly. Spirituality. I think it would be very ignorant as a human to not do some research on why this is important. And if for no other reason, but the placebo effect. If you believe something so greatly, regardless of what it is, I don't care what people believe in, but if you believe in that so greatly that gives you the hope and the tenacity and the backbone and the grit and the grace and all of the things that you need to get through whatever it is, good or bad. Like, it doesn't matter what that is. It doesn't matter. That little piece, and I call it the placebo because that's like the scientific idea behind like spirituality. As long as you believe, right? It's the belief system. But it's like, that is such a powerful thing. That's such a powerful thing. Obviously, we can take it way bigger than that because I mean, I've had experience. We know we're tapped in. There's other things happening near us all the time, and we see them. There's synchronicities and things that happen all the time that, you know, confirm that we're in the right space, maybe on the right track, around the right people, so on and so forth, right? But it's just that all spirituality is. Sorry, I'm getting a little off track because I'm going from like, you know, frequency to placebo, but it's like all it is like is the idea of belief. Okay, so we have that. So to think that you were like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this my life work, and I'm going to take all this knowledge and I'm going to take all this information and I'm going to pull it together and produce these programs for people. I mean, goodness for you. Like, just goodness for you. It's just such it's such a cool thing that there's these humans that are just put amongst us that not only can feel music and be music like that, but create music and produce music, and then find other ways to also contribute to the human experience. And you're just in this space near us. Like, you're not, you know, I mean, you could easily be walking up a mountainside with like a schmuck on. That would not surprise me either, actually, at this point. But I know you know, it wouldn't surprise me. But
I wouldn't mind that experience at some point in my life. I don't know.
Right, totally. But it's like, it's just so humble to know that like you have this, and then you're doing this and giving back and serving us as humanity. And it comes from this like really honest, really humble place. And rock and roll is just something that we can identify with, and it doesn't seem so far out that, you know, that it's like this weird, unrealistic idea. I just think it's just such a beautiful thing, and I appreciate you for being able to combine those things into one thing for us. It's so impactful and important. So, yeah.
Thank you for acknowledging that. I mean, you know, I love rock and roll, and you know, I love hard rock and roll, but I love creativity. So, you know, a beautiful, you know, a nice, beautiful acoustic song that makes you feel the feelings is just as powerful to me as a song that is loud in your face and helps you through releasing some of those negative feelings. You know what I mean? Again, you know, this cathartic experience. You know, I've created a program actually around the Blissipline. I went to Colombia recently and did a tour in Colombia with the Mighty One. Your dad wasn't able to come, but we had some. We put a band together in Colombia, and we went. And those guys, the bass player and drummer that joined us in Colombia, knew of my work with the Blissipline, and gave me the opportunity to speak at a university in their hometown.
Amazing.
And as I was speaking to this audience of 350 faculty and staff because the students were off on break already. It was their summer break already. But the faculty and staff all came to this talk, which was just so meaningful to me to have that experience. And there was 2 translators because not everybody spoke, we're in Colombia, so not everybody speaks
Absolutely.
English, right?
Yeah,
So, I
right.
would say a couple of lines and then they translate it, but the message got across.
Yeah.
And, with the Blissipline, there's 4 steps. There's obviously the HIIT workout, which releases these beautiful things from these beautiful chemicals from the brain, from the pharmacy up here. Then there's the breath work, right? About 5 minutes of that. And then there's the visualization of your goal, and I've had the same goal for the last 6 years. And I still go every morning. I go and I'm holding that Grammy in my hand. When I finish with you, actually, I'm voting on the Grammys. I'm actually a Grammy voting member, and that didn't happen by accident.
No.
That came from those visualizations,
Yeah.
And so I was standing on the stage and looking out at the audience, just in such gratitude, and realizing that a dream had come true in real time. And I told the audience, and the hair stood up on my arms. And I'm like, here it is. Like, this is what I visualized. And so this is what's possible when we commit to daily disciplines. And, people always ask me, they go, well, okay, daily disciplines. It was actually my daughter. I think I wrote this in the book. I was saying, I'm going to write this book. It's about daily disciplines and how important it is. And, you watch me practice it every morning. She sees me every morning,
Mhm.
whether I got to work at 6 a.m. or whatever. They'll hear me pounding away upstairs doing my workout. And,
Yeah.
like, what does my wife say? She calls me Thumper because
Yeah.
I thump the house every morning. But I said to my daughter, so I'm going to write this book, and it's going to be called, the Daily Disciplines to make you a master of your reality. And she goes, well, I have a problem with the word discipline. And I said, what is it? She goes, well, I'm a kid, and when I do something bad, I get disciplined. So it has kind of a negative feeling to me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, so I see discipline as a good thing, but the word does have some energy to it, negative energy.
Mhm.
And it was actually my teacher and my mentor who helped me become a certified master coach, who said to me, he says, oh, Tim, it's easy. It's a blissipline. Because when you do that discipline, you get a feeling of bliss. That's the reward, is that feeling of bliss. I'm like, oh my God, there it is. You're right. Blissipline.
Blissipline.
Yeah. So serving yourself to that, taking it to the level where you create that bliss for yourself, that's the reward. That's the reward. That's the reason that you do it every morning. And I've got a community right now that ever since being in Colombia, I think there's over 50 or 60 people in this group that now some of the people have almost been there for a whole year.
Wow.
And they all swear by it, that if they do miss a day, they do not feel complete. They feel incomplete if they don't do it.
Yeah.
It's the greatest addiction I've ever had in my life. And I've had a few.
Haven't we all? Yeah. But you've taught a whole group of people how to be intrinsic. And this is where, I mean, it's just these two words. And once I figured out what they meant, I was like, wait a second. This is the anticipating things all day long or setting yourself up and just being ready. It's not things aren't happening to you. You're doing these things. It's okay, right? And that's changing your mind from being, you know, like outwardly rewarding yourself. If I accomplish this task at 3 p.m., then I am going to get a Tim Hortons, or I am going to take 5 minutes to myself, or I deserved a pedicure and a manicure and maybe my, like, as soon as you shift the thing to be intrinsic, and that is finishing that task is the thing. It's like it felt like chains came off. It was like, you taught a group of people how to change how they think, and I would imagine that being, I mean, if you go your whole life, and I know there's people in the comments right now that don't haven't figured out the difference, even though we talk about it quite a lot over here, but are still living in a reward based lifestyle, right? If I do this, if I accomplish this, if I get my kids to school, if I cook dinner for them, and then I'm going to get them into bed, and then I get time for myself. And this is kind of where the doom scrolling thing happens, right? But it's like, if I do all these things, if I accomplish all these tasks, then I get to reward myself. It's like, no, 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 no. Doing those things is the reward. And I know that sounds completely crazy, but once you're like actually in those moments, you start seeing the reward in it. You get those conversations with your kid. Maybe you hear a song on the radio you haven't heard forever. I mean, your program it works. And so 50, 60, yeah, that's great. I know I know you're being humble, because I already know it's bigger than that. And it's going to be bigger than that, because it's changing people from this extrinsic mindset to being intrinsically aware of how they're going to get through their day. And it feels like it should be so obvious, but it's just not, because we've gone our whole lives thinking that the other way around, right? We've just gone our whole lives thinking that if we do something, then we get a reward. I mean, that's literally how we teach our kids. If you accomplish this thing, you get to do this later, right? If you make your bed or get to school on time, you're not going to be in trouble. Like we've been trained to do this for so long. So yeah, this is, I mean, it's heart work. You're right. It is heart work. And it's so important to us to be able to have it laid out in such a way. So outside of Colombia, like where will people be able to access this information once you've launched the book? What does this look like for us?
Sure. Well, I mean, right now we're putting together the website, and I'm going to start rolling out the campaign as far as the marketing campaign prepping. I mean, I decided on December 31st simply because that's a powerful day for me, but it's also, as we come to the end of the year, people are closing off the year, but they're starting a new one. So I really believe in starting the year with powerful habits. And so that's why I'm going to launch on December 31st. But there will be a website. We're going to start rolling all of that stuff out shortly. It'll probably be a page on my personal website, timsteinruck.com, is where it's probably going to show up. Because again, I want to keep this really simple. This is not rocket science. This is stuff that we all have access to, and it's something that has been quantified for me because of my practice of doing these disciplines, these blissipline for the last 6 years now, and being in Colombia. I got to tell you, being in Colombia and having that speaking in front of those people was just, it's just like, okay, I see it now. And I'm creating a program for schools, we're going back to the universities. I'm going to be speaking this at a number of universities. As a matter of fact, I just got invited November 5th. I'm speaking to the East End Boys Club, which is a club in East Vancouver, that the owners of the Canucks actually have started to serve East Side kids and boys, young men, and they've invited me to come speak about the Blissipline there. So this is something that I really want to bring to the education system. I really want to bring it to the youth, but I also really want to bring it into the corporate scene also. You know what I mean? I just feel that this can serve any human being in a powerful way because I know what it's done for me. Okay? It's transformed my life.
I want everyone to know where you guys can find. So if you haven't already, go and follow Tim. I mean, you go check out the music, the Mighty One. You've been making beautiful music with a few other people too along the way. And I mean, everyone can go down the rabbit hole. That is you. You are the kindest person when it comes to information, because all you have to do is check out your socials to, I mean, you've been giving this information out for free forever. This is nothing new. I mean, you've done the Einstein quotes and all these beautiful things, these mindful things, like just to follow along with you every day. I'm just constantly picking up all these little tidbits of information and these amazing like tools and I don't want to call them shortcuts or tricks, but it feels that way sometimes, right? And so so like the information is out there already, and it's a beautiful rabbit hole that you've created. To know that you're shifting into the schools is going to be a really great thing. Youth, I mean, we're for the dudes over here anyways. We have since the beginning. I think men's mental health is so important, and it starts with youth. But to know that, especially as a parent, I'm a parent of boys, right? There's no secret. Calico, the same thing. We're boy moms. And we're stuck in this challenging situation where all we see is the behavior, right? All we see is the behavior. And so it's like trying to get past the behavior to understand what it is that they're really looking for, and then also being able to offer them this piece. Like, okay, we've got past the behavior, we've identified some of these things, these needs that need to be met. Okay, we can do this, and then we can also implement this thing that I don't even know if they would notice it was happening, to be quite honest. Like, if you know what I mean, like it's just so simple that you can be like, oh, I'm doing this thing. Okay, yeah, hey, grab a glass of water. Yeah, come with me outside or whatever. I always use that one because that's one I use all the time. But like, grab a glass of water, drink the water. Oh yeah, play this music. Like it's so beautiful that it's going to be really neat to watch this go to that particular demographic. First of all, I've never been shy about it. I think that the boys, especially the blue collar boys, are the backbones of our society. And especially in Canada, the way that our economy is set up, if it isn't for the blue collar, and I'm looking at at my kid now who's 12, and I'm like, and he's talking about trades and all this, and his friends are talking about dropping out of school, we're talking like 12 to 18-year-olds or whatever, and they've all got all these ideas and these ambitions and all this stuff, and I'm just like, okay, but first we need to like make sure that you're stable and your mental health's in check. Like, we're not sending you up to the patch until we've done this, and you don't need to do that. You just need your GED. Like, we just need the certificate because this shows that you like cared enough. And I'm going through all these things that I think are important, but to know that there's these like simple tidbits that they can do, that we can offer our boys, that we can offer our, our neighbors for their kids, it's so fantastic. And I'm just so excited for it.
Yeah.
There's my tangent. There's my boy mom tangent. But yeah, it's so important, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a commitment of 15 minutes every day. That's all it is. 15 minutes. If you can commit to 15 minutes every day, you are going to have such an upshift in your life. Yeah. You are going to feel in control. You're going to feel solid. You're going to be able to face challenges, whatever those challenges are. And again, I just use that analogy of most of us are these little paper boats on just this massive ocean that's the wind is blowing and the waves are, and we got no control. Like, we're just getting blown around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if you can take that time every day for yourself, first thing in the morning is the ultimate. Sometimes I have done my Blissipline at 11:30 at night to make sure that I keep my consecutive days going. But,
right, yeah.
But if you do that, you will be on the shore, you'll be on the rocks, you'll be a strong lighthouse, and the more you do it, the more you're going to radiate, and you're going to pull more people into you, create community. We're going to serve each other. That is my goal for everything that I'm doing in my life. And I know it's your goal for yourself because I'm watching you radiating more and more and more, you and Calico, with what you're doing. It's just incredible. And if we all take on that responsibility to feed the field that is human consciousness, if we all take on that responsibility to feed it with good stuff, the world is going to be a better place.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's our duty. I keep coming back to this word. It's like our duty. Like, what else are we doing, man? Like, what else are you doing? What else we got time for, man? Like, you got time to do all this other stuff. Like, we have time to educate ourselves and sit and listen to people who want to give us this information. I've sat here and watched the comments just go by, and they're so beautiful. One says, "I hope this is being recorded," and I mean, is there a bigger compliment than that? I don't believe that there is. Like, what a wonderful thing to say. But it's true, because not everything that looks like us, especially, I am who I am, but you're such a beautiful human being, right? Your beautiful majestic beard, and your backdrop, and I mean, you guys go on YouTube and check them out, because the music is awesome, right? But not everybody that look like you sounds like you, right? And that's what I think is so very important here when you go and speak to politicians or educators, or because you do a lot, right? Or on podcasts, or something, Carol's Corner down the city, whatever you're up to.
Yeah.
You look so exciting, and then you have this like keep it simple stupid mentality to mindfulness, and I'm like, there's the delivery system that we've been needing. This is what we need it to be like. This is what we need it to look like. This is what makes it feel like I want to be a part of it. I don't look and sound like everybody else. I know that there's people in the comments that don't look and sound like everybody else, that don't know where to go, or they don't, maybe and especially in the high risk populations, we're talking about people, because there's people that tune in that are like unhoused, or that are in detox centers, or that are at their job. I mean, there's people on their, in the bathroom checking on their lunch break at work, whatever, because they got 3 or 4 jobs trying to make sure that the bills are being paid. And it's like, not only do they maybe not have the time, but they also like to get up and get ready and have a shower and do the things that they need to do to be presentable, to go to these public spaces, to be around people that they may not identify with, or might have some trauma with, is a daunting thing. And so to be able to have somebody that like feels, and I just think that's another really important part of it, because you're a rock star, you're a rocker, you're this cool guy that like people want to be like, but it's not this like unapproachable situation where it's like, oh, I couldn't be like that. I don't know how to communicate with him. I don't know, because some of these mental health spaces, or these life coach spaces, almost feel unattainable, or they feel unapproachable. And so and why do you think that's important? Like, is this you've just honestly come by this naturally, or was there some intent behind? I mean, you said earlier, like, you wanted to write the book to be a certain way, right? You wanted to keep it simple, and you wanted to make sure that it was accessible, which I think is important. But is there a piece of mental health that you find the awareness that we could work on as a community? Like, is there things that, as in the, people that are in the comments, like, is there something that they can do for in their community that's like a small contribution? Like, how do we start shifting what mental health looks like?
Well, I mean, obviously we talked about, service, right? So whatever service looks like to you. And it could be as simple as going over to your neighbor and saying, "Hey, I'd like you to come over and hang out for coffee." And just that interaction, that human interaction, and especially with somebody who's a challenging person to be with, right? But I think the most important relationship in your life is the relationship that you have with yourself.
Yeah.
You will not be able to serve anybody properly in your life unless you are developing a good relationship with yourself, because there is you, Kaleisha, who's sitting there at the microphone, but there's also Kaleisha inside,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what you put out in the world is not necessarily always a representation of the challenges that you're having inside,
No,
right?
no, absolutely
Right?
not. Mhm.
Even right now, you're probably having thoughts about, what you still need to do tonight. You're thinking about what's got to get ready for the kids for tomorrow, all these. So having a relationship with ourselves and investing time, energy in ourselves, with the relationship with ourselves, and just every day stronger, clearer, strong, all of those things. If we can do that just a little bit every day, much like the Blissipline,
Mhm.
which is self-maintenance, every day we're just walking one step closer to a unified, coherent relationship with ourselves. And when we start to, and I'm only just starting to feel that at times I'm going like, wow, I'm in coherence right now. And when I am, now I can make that phone call, or I can send that email, or I can reach out to that person in a much more powerful way than I used to, because I was moving around in a very unconscious way for a long time in my life. Okay?
Mhm.
We all have the conscious, which is this thing we're showing to everybody, but we also have the unconscious, the subconscious, which is always there too. If we can get a relationship between those two, we're going to be much more powerful. So, how can we serve others? By serving ourselves. By
Mm.
serving ourselves in a powerful way, we will be able to serve others better. It's just that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do we, so then what about if we see, like, if we're like come on a situation that we're like, oh, you need some support. How is there a safe way to kind of deal with that situation? How do you encourage people in your life that seem like maybe they could
Well, I mean, it's the same
use a
thing I
little?
do. Same thing I do with my coaching and everything. If I see there is a need,
Mhm.
I always ask for permission.
Yeah.
Is there? Would you like help with that? Is a very simple thing I would say. Or can I support you in some way on that? I mean, this is when people, for instance, I know with the sound healing and some of the, the really deeper processes that I do with people, if they start to go into a place where they start crying, or they're having a release of some kind,
Yeah.
I used to always go, oh, I want to hug them, oh, I want to help them. But I go to them, I go, do you want some support right now? Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
There needs to be, the request needs to come from them. We can offer it, but I don't always help others unless they want to be helped.
Yeah.
And if my intuition says this person needs help, I'll go to them and I'll go, can I support you in some way on this? Would you like some help? Because not everybody wants help. Some people want to go through their struggle, and that's okay. That is okay. So always asking permission.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really important one. Yeah, I appreciate you highlighting that because I think it's a really important one. A lot of us are like, "Oh, I'm fixing myself and I feel really great." And so now I'm in fix everyone around me, and this is what I'm
That's
going to
right.
do. And you're all of a sudden you're like, whoa, like, oh, that's really lovely, and we're really happy for you, but we actually don't need any of that over here, you know. And I've seen it almost like shift. Like, I had to rein myself in. Even today, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine who really just needed me to listen, and I was like, oh, according to chapter 8, paragraph, you know, like, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. Too much,
Yeah,
right?
and
Like,
and the people that don't want help, that's okay. I mean, we just need to
mhm,
accept that. And as I say, if I see somebody freaking out, you know, and I'm just like, well, they're having their own experience, they're doing their thing, they're freaking
mhm.
out, they're angry or whatever they are. I always go, I think back to my teacher going, hmm,
Yeah.
I'm observing this person. Interesting evolutionary experience they're having right now.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That's funny. That's funny.
Ah, the
Yeah,
humor. The humor of the universe needs to be there. We need to see the humor in all of this. You know, we
yeah.
really do. Because humor is, it's healing. Humor
Yes,
is
it is.
super healing.
Yeah.
Super healing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't realize that artificially smiling. I do this to my kids all the time now. It's like part of my daily routine. And I'm like, smile, you know? And they're
Yeah.
like, what? But it releases the same thing. It gives you the same feeling, even if you don't mean it genuinely. Like, laughing
Yeah.
and smiling will actually produce the same feeling. It does the exact same thing. And I'm just like,
For,
who knew that? I
force
mean, I guess.
force smiling releases the same chemicals that when you're really smiling and happy.
Mhm, mhm.
Because your
And
brain doesn't know the difference.
nope. No, and, as moms, I know, maybe moms, they talk about it more, but I think as a parent in general, it's really important. We're like, "Oh, the kid falls, skins his knees," right? And then the child's, like, waiting for your reaction, and if you're like, "Oh, my baby," then they cry, and if you're like, "Oh, you're okay," like, "You got this," and then the kid's like, "Oh, okay," like, sucks the tear back into their face, right? Like, it's just so important, and I feel like we need to remember to do that for ourselves as well. It's like
Yeah.
you're allowed to, like, you don't have to react that way. You can shift the way you were just about to react. Like, if you have to be, if you got to fake it till you make it, and it really does produce the same feeling. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a trick, right? Such a back to the pharmacy. Back to this
Yeah.
massive pharmaceutical thing that we have going on. We can control these things. We have access to all of these things. We don't need to look outside of it. And honestly, the Western medicine has done such a great job about simplifying things, right? There's uppers and downers and sideways things, and
Sure.
it's like,
Sure.
you know, once you really
Symptom treatments.
symptom treatment. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. Some of the things I'm like, I wish I didn't know that now, because now I can't unknow that. Like, some
Yeah.
things I'd rather be like ignorant to. The way that we deal with symptoms and this kind of band-aid effect that we have. I as a trend, we've seen people kind of go to Eastern medicine. There's a lot more talk about it, and unfortunately it did start drifting towards woke. But I think, if we bring it back to just the idea of like what our responsibility is in our community, in our neighborhoods, in our homes, what is our responsibility as a parent, as a spouse, to ourselves, and just bring it back down to this really basic, simple thing. We can start to really, to grow again. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to feel fulfilled. We deserve to not just wake up every day with this dread and this thing. We get clients. We have our beautiful warm line. And there's people who have just been doing the same thing every day, every day, every day. And I'm like, I don't want to sound like a really insensitive human being right now, but if you are molding away back into your couch and expecting to feel elation from that, it's not going to happen. You have to change this trajectory. You have to jumpstart those, those feel goods. We got to get those hormones back. We got to give our brain, you have to re-excite your system again. And you don't have to get up and shit shower and shave I mean, that's a lot, even for a person who's on top of it. I mean, that, we don't have to be heroes here. But if we can just shift these tiny little things, use their Blissipline and just slowly get back on track. Like we deserve to have, because if for what else? Like what else are we doing,
Exactly.
right? And it's
raise your energy, do some breathing. Breath is incredible. Just simply, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Do that a few times. That's a reset you can do anytime, anywhere. It's incredible. And then just go inside your world, the visualization, go inside your world and think and create in your world. What is the ultimate thing that I would love to have in my life? That if I had that thing, how would I feel? So create that visualization and go into it every day and start decorating. It's all about the images, the thoughts, the feelings, and the body sensations as if it's actually happening. And the crazy thing is, it will become your reality. Eventually, it will become your reality, but you have to practice it. You have to practice it every day.
So the law of attraction, I mean, anyone who hasn't read that book, it's a really quick, easy way to get into it, right? I mean, or it's a really big kind of way to get into it, but it's not just visualize. I mean, it is just visualizing it, but it's wild when you start to see the pieces and you're like, whoa, I'm attracting these conversations. I'm attracting these people that are part of this world with these conversations. Okay, wait a second. All of a sudden, the things that seem so far away and so outlandish and so crazy, like now all of a sudden don't seem that unrealistic, because maybe this person that was over here is now over here, and and this can be really selfish, really entitled things. We're talking about, like, if you want a Cadillac, picture what that Cadillac feels like, smells like, drives like, right? It's like, and all of a sudden you've created this conversation. Maybe it's just posting it on your Facebook, and somebody else who's interested in Cadillacs comes across your Facebook page, and now all of a sudden you have this in common, and so and so's grandpa's got one in his like this, like it's so wild that it's not this, like, if I write it on a vision board it's going to happen. It's putting it into action and watching it happen. You need to participating in it, and
that's the key. So the final key of all of this, so you do the exercise, raise your energy, release from all these beautiful chemicals from the pharmacy up here. You do the breath and really get grounded, and then you do the visualization of your goal, and then you open your eyes and you just simply ask your heart, what is one thing that I can do today that will bring me one step closer to my goal? It's got to be action. If there's not action, you will just stay in that happy feeling and that nice feeling. You've got to take one action also every day. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's one step every day.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so excited for that book. When you drop it, we'll all be here. I mean, Pinecase will be here with bated breath, ready to go. I'm really excited to be a part of the program and to share it with our community. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that we're still, you're still advocating for the youth, and you're still advocating for the dudes. I know that both of those things are very near and dear to your heart. I did mention kicking stones earlier, and we don't have to spend too much time on suicide awareness, but I do think it is important. I did put the link in the comment for anyone who wants to go check out the single. It's an amazing song. I think it's such a great way to not only bring awareness to suicide prevention and talk and thoughts. It's also really great if that's how you're feeling. You can also share songs like that to allow people in on how you're feeling. I think we've missed that conversation sometimes. We're so worried about, oh, this is the number you need, #988, or you can call us at Pinecase at 250-289-3948. The text line's always open. Just let us know what city you're in, so we can get you the resources that you need in your community. But also, you can utilize these songs to allow people near you to understand what's happening. We don't always have the right words. We don't always know how to even bring up the conversation. And so you can utilize songs like Kicking Stones to allow people near you to know how you feel. So thank you for writing and producing that song. It's another integral piece of our culture. I think it's so incredibly important. I know both with youth and boys specifically, and men, dudes, whatever. Not whatever, you guys are important, but you know what I mean. You guys don't always find the right words, or you don't take advantage of every opportunity to talk about these things. And so music is a great tool to be able to use to replace some of that.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about music for a second, and we can talk about kicking stones, but I think it's important if we want to clear some of these really negative emotions, and obviously, depression and hopelessness and all of these things are it's a very common thing, especially amongst young men. The only way out of these things is to go through them. So to feel them fully and find a way to release them. And that's why I write songs like that. That's why I wrote a song like So High. That's why I've written a song like Kicking Stones, which is about my best friend who took his own life. The only way out is through. It has to be that way. You can't just sidestep things, bury it, shove it down, and pretend like it's not there. It's there. But it needs to be healed. And just like a cut on your hand will heal eventually. It'll stop bleeding. The skin will grow back together. It might be a scar left, but you'll heal yourself. You break a bone. If it's set properly and you get a cast on it, eventually you will heal yourself. We can heal ourselves physically. We can also heal ourselves emotionally. Okay? We can heal the worst negative emotions, the traumas, the fears, the depression, all of those things. We are self-healing machines. I firmly believe that. But we need to be committed to healing ourselves. And that's a daily thing we need to do. Okay? So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Before we leave, I just want to say one quick thing. If you do think that there's somebody near you who is struggling with suicidal thoughts, there is no beating around the bush, like you just said. Just ask the question. It's part of our training. It's extremely important. You don't have to make up different words. You don't have to, you can just say, are you thinking about killing yourself?
Yeah.
It's that simple. Stigma out the window, right? It's just like giving somebody CPR. If you got to break their ribs to save their life, you're given CPR. The same thing comes with suicide prevention. There is no pleasantries left.
No.
It is this or death, period. So don't worry about hurting people's feelings and treading lightly and walking. Nah. Are you thinking about killing yourself? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. This is what we're going to do. You can call #988. They will walk you through it, whether it's for you or somebody near you. They will give you all the supports. They have a ton of information and great resources. Are you thinking of killing yourself? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Move from there. It doesn't have to be complicated. And we're done with the stigma thing. I mean, honestly, anyone that's hanging out at Pinecase, we have to casket stigma. That is absolutely the number one silent killer. It's people like you, Tim, that come on here and talk about these things that allow us to be able to take it into our personal life and talk about these things. So I appreciate you so much for coming on here and just speaking with absolute transparency, and purpose and drive and affection and love. It's so impactful and important. I appreciate you donating your time. We consider it an absolute donation. I could not put a price tag on the value of you, although you have sat here for an hour and a half. And if I had to pay for you on stage, I could kind of ballpark what that would be. So we absolutely take that and put it into a tangible donation. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. The community appreciates you. please, you guys, if you're need to reach out, you can reach out in the comments to Calico. You can reach out to all the places that we've listed, #988 250 289 You can hang out, comment into our community, which is 700 people strong, by the way. I just looked at it.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. So it's really exciting. But we are absolutely here for you guys. Tim, my God, on a personal note, like, thank you so much again for coming on here and hanging out with me. I actually got through without tearing up. I was like, I am not going to wear mascara or eyeliner, because you're just one of these people that I absolutely adore, and I appreciate the time so much. I know when we started this project, it was like, it was so nerve-wracking when we talked the first time, and now I just feel like there's this beautiful relationship that I can text and ask and pitch and all of these things. And so human to human, I just appreciate you and adore you so much. So thank you for taking the time to come and hang out with me tonight.
Likewise, and it's my pleasure. It's my honor to be here again, to be able to support you makes my heart so happy. And anybody who'd like to, if anybody needs help, I'm always available 24/7 too. I answer every message on social media. You wanna DM me, I will answer. It might take me a day or something like that, but I will answer. I'm here in service. I'm grateful, and I just gonna make a request right now that maybe you come back, right around the time of the release of the book, and we can have a quick talk again. I'd really like that, and support your community. And so much love to you, my friend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We Calico's already like ferociously throwing you in the calendar for that. So so that will never ever be a problem. But we'd love to hear about when this book is going to be hitting the ground. You guys, please take care of each other. Stay safe. Tim, honestly, and I'm going to run through this again, you guys. The Mighty One, go check them out. Tim, you can check him out on all of his social medias. He's got life coaching going on. Blissipline, stay tuned, because it is coming everywhere near you. And I've posted a bunch of stuff in the community. It's a lifestyle. It's an absolute lifestyle, and we're all on board. We're all here with you, near you. So stay safe, take care, and we'll see you guys all next Tuesday.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Please stay strong. Please stay
The
strong.
further you take my rights away, I'ma run to it, refuse to hear my voice. Speak loud when I spit it, but you don't get it. You just wanna be a side critic. See somebody else showing hate in the side of the road with it. Now how would you feel standing on the sideline and watch a color of a nation deteriorate over time? The flag real high, but compassion 6 feet below. Now you're searching for that justice that decided to never show. Deny my place, I'm back with a trace. Keep up the pace, tight lace, game face. Get back in the race. Whatever they did could never be undone. Every dark night ends with the rising of the sun. Squandered every wealth that's built from the mud. Squandered every wealth that's built from the blood. Squandered every wealth that's built in chains. Stolen from the ancestors, running through my veins.
With the strength of 1,000 lion and the strength of 1,000 giant, please stay strong. Please stay strong. With the strength of 1,000 elephant and the strength of 1,000 tiger, we stay strong. We stay strong. We stay strong.
I can see, run to the light at the end of the tunnel winner.
We stay strong.
I can't breathe, we're gonna get oxygen without the justice system.
We stay strong.
And I know, gotta keep my head together.
We stay strong.
Don't doubt me, please don't doubt me.
We stay strong.
Tell me how can we be strong if we still shooting? Tell me how can we be strong if we still looting? Tell me how can we be strong if we still hating? Please tell me now, please.